Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a season where nothing is moving? Like you're waiting for a door to open, but every time you knock, there's silence. Let me tell you this, just because something is delayed doesn't mean it's denied. Your breakthrough is not just coming, it is being prepared, shaped, and positioned at the right time for the right impact. Divine timing, trusting the process of your breakthrough. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a season where nothing is moving, like you're knocking on doors but no one's answering? You're putting in the work, making the sacrifices, staying faithful to the process, but the results? Nowhere in sight. Let me tell you something. Just because things aren't happening on your schedule doesn't mean they're not happening at all. Delay is not a denial, it's a strategy. You see, everything great takes time. A seed doesn't become a tree overnight. A baby doesn't walk the moment it's born. The greatest structures, the most powerful innovations are required. Patience, development, and the right moment to be revealed. And the same goes for your breakthrough. Just because you don't see the shift yet doesn't mean the foundation isn't being laid beneath the surface. The problem is most people give up in the waiting season. They mistake delay for denial, not realizing that what feels like stagnation is actually preparation. Some of you are waiting for an opportunity, a promotion, a financial breakthrough, a dream to come to life, but you don't even realize you're not just waiting, you're being molded. You're being shaped, tested, and equipped for what's coming. Because the worst thing that can happen is for you to arrive at your destination unprepared. See, if you step into success too soon, it can crush you instead of elevate you. If you're given a platform before you develop the character to sustain it, it won't last. You might be saying, but I'm ready. I've been through enough. And maybe you have. But just because you think you're ready doesn't mean the situation is. There are things aligning behind the scenes that you cannot see. People being placed, opportunities being prepared, doors being built just for you to walk through. So what do you do in the waiting? You don't sit there frustrated. You don't complain. You don't compare your timeline to someone else's. No. You stay faithful. You keep building. You keep growing. The power of delay, preparation for your greatest opportunity. Have you ever wondered why things take so long? Why your vision, your dream, your breakthrough seems just out of reach? You've done the work, made the sacrifices, stayed committed, and yet the results are still not here. Let me tell you something. Delay is not punishment, it's preparation. See, the delay is not there to break you, it's there to build you. Because success that comes too soon can be just as dangerous as failure. Think about it. What happens when you put something in the oven and take it out before it's ready? It's half-baked, incomplete, and not able to fulfill its purpose. And the same goes for you. There are things inside you that need time to develop. Strength you don't even know you need yet. Skills you haven't even tapped into. Doors you think you're ready for, but if they opened right now, you wouldn't be able to handle what's on the other side. So, what does delay actually do? It refines you. It sharpens your character. It forces you to dig deeper, stretch wider, and build a foundation that can sustain the weight of your destiny. Because the bigger the vision, the stronger the foundation must be. Some of you are asking for something huge, but are you really ready to manage it? You want influence, but do you have the discipline to maintain it? You want the position, but do you have the wisdom to lead? You want the success, but can you handle the pressure that comes with it? That's why delay is necessary. It's not just about waiting, it's about who you become while you wait. It's about mastering your emotions, refining your mindset, and learning the lessons that will protect you once you step into the promise. Because listen to me, talent can get you in the room, but character is what keeps you there. And here's the thing, if you resist the process, you extend the delay. The more you fight it, the longer it lasts. But when you embrace it, when you start seeing delay as a training ground instead of a holding cell, that is when everything begins to shift. So what if the very thing you've been calling a delay is actually the key to unlocking your destiny? What if the waiting is not a setback, but a setup? Because I promise you, when the timing is right, nothing can stop what's meant for you. But until then, you must keep your heart strong, your mind sharp, and your hands ready, because the moment that door opens, you won't have time to prepare. You'll have to perform. And that's why you must understand this. When things feel slow, when nothing seems to be moving, it doesn't mean you're off track. It means something greater is being prepared for you. And the question is, will you be ready for it? Because now we have to talk about something even more important. The moment when waiting starts to feel unbearable and how to push through when nothing makes sense. Delayed but not denied, the journey to fulfillment. Have you ever felt like life is testing your patience? Like you've been running toward a goal, but no matter how hard you push, the finish line keeps moving further away? You start wondering, is it ever going to happen? Is this even meant for me? But let me remind you, just because your dream is delayed does not mean it's been denied. See, delay is not a rejection. It's a realignment. It's a recalibration. It's a season where everything necessary is being positioned so that when the moment arrives, everything fits perfectly. And yet, most people misinterpret this waiting season. They think if it hasn't happened by now, maybe it's not for me. But here's what you need to understand. Your delay is not a sign to give up. It's a sign to prepare. Think about this. Every great vision requires time to manifest. A builder doesn't rush to put a roof on a house before laying the foundation. An athlete doesn't compete before training. A seed doesn't turn into a tree overnight. The process is necessary because anything that comes too quickly disappears just as fast. And here's the reality. Some of you are waiting not because you're being ignored, but because your foundation is still being strengthened. But let's be honest, waiting is not easy. The longer it takes, the more doubt creeps in. You start seeing others getting their breakthrough while you're still in the same place, wondering, why not me? What am I doing wrong? But let me tell you, just because someone else got theirs first does not mean yours isn't coming. Stop comparing your timeline to someone else's. Stop looking at their harvest when you don't know how long they've been planting. What's for you is for you. And when the time is right, nothing will be able to stop it. So the real question is, what will you do in the delay? Will you complain? Will you let frustration take over? Or will you stay focused and keep moving forward? Because here's the truth. Just because you can't see progress doesn't mean it isn't happening. What's happening behind the scenes is just as important as what will happen when the doors finally open. And listen, when the time comes and you step into that moment, you'll realize why you had to wait. You'll see why certain things didn't happen when you wanted them to. You'll understand why some doors stayed closed, because they weren't meant for you. And you'll realize everything was working in your favor all along. So don't be discouraged. Don't let impatience make you walk away from what's meant for you. Because the wait may be long, but the reward will be greater than you ever imagined. And that's why you have to prepare your mind for the next challenge. Because the biggest test of all is what happens when you feel like nothing is happening. When the wait feels long. Your season is coming. Have you ever felt like you're watching time slip away, waiting for something that seems like it may never come? You've been patient, you've stayed faithful to the process, but the results? Still out of reach? You look around and see others moving forward, stepping into their opportunities while you're still waiting for your moment. And you start to wonder, did I miss my chance? Is my season ever coming? But listen to me, your season is not lost. It's being prepared. Just because you don't see the movement doesn't mean things aren't shifting behind the scenes. Timing is everything, and if you receive something before its time, it will not last. That's why some doors remain closed, not to block you, but to protect you. Not to keep you out, but to position you for something greater. See, everything in life has seasons. There's a season for planting, a season for growing, and a season for harvest. And the reason why many people give up is because they don't understand the season they're in. Some of you are in a planting season, but you're frustrated because you don't see the fruit yet. You're thinking, where's my breakthrough? Where's my reward? But you don't realize the roots are growing first. The foundation is being established before the results are revealed. But here's the challenge. What do you do when the wait feels too long? When you've done everything right, yet nothing seems to be happening. This is where most people quit. They walk away from the promise too soon, not realizing they were just one step away. They let frustration win. They let comparison make them believe they're behind. But listen, just because it's taking longer than expected doesn't mean it's not happening. Some of the greatest success stories were built in silence, in seasons of obscurity, in times when it looked like nothing was happening, until suddenly everything changed. And let me tell you, when your season comes, it will come fast. It will come strong. It will come in a way that makes you realize why you had to wait, why certain things didn't work out, and why the timing had to be perfect. Because when you step into your season, everything will line, the right doors will open, the right people will appear, and the opportunity that once felt distant will be standing right in front of you. So don't rush the process. Don't lose hope just because the timeline doesn't match your expectations. Because the truth is, your season is already scheduled. And when it arrives, nothing can stop it. And that's why you need to recognize something even more important. What if the obstacles you're facing right now are not blocking you, but actually preparing you for something greater? Obstacles or opportunities? Understanding divine setups. Have you ever been in a situation where everything seemed to be going wrong? Every time you took a step forward, something pulled you 2 steps back. You tried, you pushed, you gave it your all, only to be met with closed doors, disappointments, and unexpected roadblocks. And you started asking, why is this happening? Why does it feel like life is fighting against me? But listen closely. What if what looks like an obstacle is actually an opportunity in disguise? What if the very thing you see as a setback is actually a setup for something greater? The truth is, most people fail to recognize this. They see resistance and assume it means stop. They face opposition and believe it's a sign to quit. But the reality is, sometimes the struggle is part of the strategy. Think about this. If everything came easy, you would never grow. If success showed up without challenges, you wouldn't be ready to handle it. Sometimes the obstacles are not there to block you, they're there to build you. Every delay, every closed door, every challenge is developing something inside you that you will need when you step into your destiny. Strength is built in resistance. Wisdom is formed in struggle. Patience is developed in the waiting. And those who understand this don't just endure challenges. they use them. Because here's the secret: opposition is often a sign that you're getting closer. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the harder the resistance will be. Why? Because what you're carrying is valuable. The vision inside you is too big to come without a fight. The enemy of progress is comfort. And if everything was easy, you would never stretch beyond what you think you can do. That's why some doors stay closed, not to stop you, but to make sure you grow before you walk through them. So the question is, how do you see your challenges? Do you see them as barriers, or do you recognize them as preparation? Because your perspective determines your outcome. Two people can face the same challenge. One gives up while the other finds a way to win. The difference? One saw the obstacle, the other saw the opportunity. And I promise you this: you will realize that the disappointments were redirections. The delays were development, and the pain you thought would break you actually built you into the person who was ready to receive what's coming next. And that's why you must understand this: every challenge is shaping you for something greater. Because the real test is not the obstacle itself, it's whether or not you have the vision to see beyond it. And that brings us to something even more powerful. What happens when you're so close to your breakthrough, but you feel like giving up? What do you do when the pressure is at its highest and the promise still feels far away? The hidden promise behind every delay. Have you ever asked yourself, why is this taking so long? Why am I still waiting when I've done everything I was supposed to do? Why does it seem like everyone else is moving forward while I'm stuck in the same place? The waiting season can feel frustrating, even painful. But what if I told you there's a reason for the delay? What if I told you this waiting period is not a waste of time, but a time of preparation? See, most people don't realize this. Delays are often divine interruptions. They are not there to punish you. They are there to position you, because if you step into something before you're ready, before you're fully equipped, before you've been refined, what was meant to elevate you could destroy you instead. That's why some doors remain closed. Not because you're not capable, but because the moment isn't right. The opportunity isn't fully developed. The connections haven't been made yet. And if you force something to happen before it's time, you risk losing it just as quickly. Think about this. There are things you know now that you didn't know 5 years ago. There are mistakes you would have made back then that you're wise enough to avoid today. So if you had received your breakthrough too soon, you might not have been able to handle it. But the delay is what teaches you. It humbles you, strengthens you, and reveals who you really are when things don't go as planned. And here's the truth: when you finally step into your breakthrough, you'll look back and realize every delay had a purpose. Every moment of frustration was actually a part of your development. The things you thought were holding you back were actually pushing you forward in ways you couldn't see at the time. Some delays are there to protect you. Some delays are there to strengthen you. And some delays are there because what's coming is bigger than you ever expected. So the question is, will you trust the process? Will you stay faithful even when you don't see the progress? Because when the time is right, the doors will open. The opportunities will find you, and everything that seemed to be against you will suddenly make sense. And that's why you can't give up now. You're too close. You've come too far. Because what if you're in the final stretch? What if the breakthrough is right around the corner, but you just can't see it yet? And that brings us to something even more powerful. How do you stay focused when distractions, doubt, and discouragement try to pull you away from the promise? What do you do when the finish line is near, but the pressure is greater than ever? Staying focused when distractions surround you. Have you ever noticed that the closer you get to your breakthrough, the more distractions seem to show up? Just when you're about to step into something great, suddenly everything around you starts demanding your attention. Unexpected problems arise. People who were never concerned before suddenly have something to say. Fear creeps in. Doubt whispers, "Are you sure this is going to work? What if you fail?" Distractions don't come when you're idle. They come when you're making progress, because distractions are designed to pull your focus away from what really matters. They come to slow you down, to drain your energy, to make you second guess yourself. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself spending more time reacting to distractions than moving toward your destiny. So the real question is, what are you allowing to steal your focus? Is it fear? Is it the opinions of others? Is it the temporary setbacks that make you feel like quitting? Because whatever has your attention has your direction. If you focus on the obstacles, you'll start believing they're bigger than they really are. If you focus on the negativity, you'll start feeling like success is impossible for you. But if you focus on your goal, on your promise, on the promise ahead, nothing can stop you. Think about it. Champions don't let distractions dictate their actions. When a runner is in a race, they don't waste time looking at the people in the stands. They don't stop in the middle of the track just because someone yelled their name. They keep their eyes locked on the finish line because they understand every second spent looking away slows them down. And the same is true for you. So how do you stay focused when distractions are everywhere? You have to make a decision that says, no matter what happens, I will not be moved. No matter who doubts me, I will not be shaken. No matter what obstacles come my way, I will not lose sight of where I'm going. You must train your mind to ignore what doesn't serve your purpose, to silence the noise, to push through the doubt, to remind yourself daily why you started in the first place. Because listen, every great success story has moments of struggle, moments of pressure, moments where distractions try to pull you away. But the ones who make it, they're the ones who refuse to quit. They're the ones who lock in, who keep going, who stay focused when everything around them is trying to break their concentration. And that's why you must understand this. You don't have time to be distracted. Your future is too important. Your purpose is too valuable, because what's ahead of you is greater than anything behind you. And that's why you need to know what happens when the opposition doesn't just come from distraction, but from the people closest to you. What do you do when those around you don't see the vision, don't believe in your journey, and try to hold you back? When the people closest to you don't see the vision? Have you ever felt the weight of being misunderstood? Have you ever shared your dreams with someone expecting support, only to be met with doubt, criticism, or even silence? It's one thing to face opposition from the outside world, but what do you do when the resistance comes from the people closest to you? The ones you thought would encourage you, the ones you believed would celebrate your journey. This is where many people stop. Not because they don't have the ability, not because they don't have the vision, but because they allow the opinions of others to determine their destiny. But listen, just because someone doesn't see your vision doesn't mean it's not real. Just because they don't believe in it doesn't mean it won't happen. Some people can't support what they don't understand. Some people can't encourage what they've never seen before. And if you're waiting for validation, you may never move forward. See, when you're carrying something great, not everyone will recognize it. Some will doubt you because they're looking at who you are right now, not realizing who you're becoming. Some will question you because they don't have the capacity to see what you see. And some will even try to hold you back, not because they don't love you, but because they're afraid. Afraid that if you grow, they might lose you. Afraid that if you succeed, it will expose their own fears, their own limitations. But you can't let their fear become your fear. You can't let their small thinking shrink your big vision. Because when you are destined for something greater, you have to be willing to walk alone if necessary. Not everyone can go where you're going. Not everyone is meant to be part of your next season. And that's okay. Because the right people will find you at the right time. The right relationships will align when you need them most. But you have to be willing to move forward even when others don't understand. Think about it. Every great leader, every innovator, every person who ever did something extraordinary had moments where people doubted them. Moments where their closest friends and even family didn't believe. But what separates those who succeed from those who give up? They don't let rejection stop them. They don't let opposition define them. They don't need approval to keep going. So ask yourself, are you willing to move forward even without applause? Are you willing to pursue your vision, even if it means some people won't understand? Because if you can say yes to that, then nothing can stop you. Not fear, not doubt, not even the opinions of those who don't see what you see. And that's why you need to know when you keep going, despite the opposition, something powerful happens. Because every step forward brings you closer to the moment where what was once just a dream finally becomes reality. But the question is, how do you prepare yourself to handle the breakthrough when it comes? What do you do when the doors finally open? What happens when the doors finally open? What do you do when the moment you've been waiting for, praying for, believing for, finally arrives? Because here's something most people don't realize. A breakthrough is not just something you receive. It's something you must be ready to manage, to sustain, and to maximize. Think about it. Opportunity without preparation can become a burden instead of a blessing. If you step into something great without the character, the discipline, or the wisdom to handle it, you might lose it just as quickly as it came. That's why the waiting season was never about denial. It was about development. Because success is not just about getting there, it's about staying there. Look at your life right now. Are you ready for what you've been asking for? Have you developed the mindset, the habits, and the discipline to manage the next level? Because elevation requires transformation. The person you were last year cannot handle what's coming next. The way you used to think, the way you used to operate, the way you used to handle challenges, that won't be enough. A new level requires a new you. This is where many people fail. They spend so much time focusing on when the breakthrough will come that they forget to focus on who they are becoming in the process. But listen, your breakthrough is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a new one. And if you're not prepared, the very thing you worked so hard for can overwhelm you instead of bless you. So what does preparation look like? It means developing the discipline to sustain what's coming. It means sharpening your skills, growing your mindset, deepening your resilience. It means being intentional about your habits, your time, your focus, because when the opportunity comes, you won't have time to get ready. You must already be ready. Imagine this. You've been waiting for an open door in your career, in your business, in your purpose. The door finally opens, but you're not disciplined in your time management, you're not organized, you're not mentally prepared for the responsibility that comes with it. What happens? The opportunity overwhelms you, the pressure breaks you, and instead of stepping into greatness, you struggle to keep up. But if you've been preparing in the waiting season, if you've been developing the right habits, the right mindset, the right discipline, when the breakthrough comes, you walk into it with confidence. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. And that's why you must understand this. Your breakthrough is coming, but your preparation determines how far you'll go. Because doors don't just open for the ready, they stay open for those who can handle what's on the other side. And that brings us to something even more powerful. Once you step into your breakthrough, once you begin walking in the reality of your promise, how do you make sure you don't fall back? How do you maintain and keep growing into all that you were meant to be? Maintain and growing after your breakthrough. You've fought through delays, overcome distractions, ignored the doubts of others, and prepared yourself for the opportunity. Now, you're standing in the place you once dreamed about. The door has opened, the promise has arrived, but here's what many don't realize. Getting there is just the beginning. Success is not about reaching the top. It's about staying there. It's about growing beyond the breakthrough. So many people work hard to reach their goals only to lose everything because they didn't have a strategy to sustain it. They thought the breakthrough itself was the finish line. But a breakthrough is not the end. It's an invitation to a new level. And with every new level, there are new challenges, new responsibilities, and new expectations. If you don't keep growing, if you don't keep learning, if you don't keep developing yourself, what was once a blessing can become a burden. Think about it. When you receive more, you must become more. More success requires more wisdom. More influence requires more character. More opportunities require more discipline. And if you don't keep building yourself, you find yourself overwhelmed by the very thing you once prayed for. That's why growth must be a lifestyle, not just a season. You don't stop learning just because you've arrived. You don't stop improving just because you've achieved a goal. The moment you stop growing is the moment you start declining. Look at the greatest leaders, the most successful people, the ones who don't just rise but stay at the top. They never stop developing. They never stop seeking wisdom. They never become complacent because they understand what got them there is not enough to keep them there. They're keeping the consistency to hold. They know that new levels require new strategies, that maintaining success is not about luck, it's about consistent growth. So ask yourself, now that your breakthrough is here, who do you need to become to sustain it? What habits do you need to reinforce? What mindsets do you need to strengthen? Because if you commit to lifelong growth, if you commit to constantly evolving, then nothing can take away what's meant for you. You won't just reach success, you'll live in it. You won't just achieve your dreams, you'll expand them. And that's the key. Your journey doesn't end with the breakthrough. It expands, it evolves, it takes you to places you never imagined. So don't settle, don't get comfortable. Keep stretching, keep learning, keep becoming the best version of yourself, because what's ahead of you is even greater than what's behind you. Your delays were not denials. Your struggles were not wasted. Every moment of waiting, every season of preparation, it all led you here. And now the question is, what will you do with it? Because this is not the end. It's just the beginning of something greater. Keep going, keep growing. The best is still ahead.